I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm thankful. I know what orange and black is at East Waterloo. I know what football meant, and I know what football means. I'm just honored to be a part of this.
How does it feel to be inducted? It feels wonderful to be inducted into the Ring of Honor at East Waterloo High School. It's a tremendous honor seeing all of the legends that have gone on before me that have played here at East High and have been inducted, so I feel tremendously honored. I feel like I am achieving a monumental goal right now. So I cannot say how I really feel, but later it's going to hit me for sure.
It's a great honor. I should have been in a long time ago, but I'm just glad to be here now and get inducted. I greatly appreciate it.
Very proud. He would have been too. He was East High through and through.
It's a huge honor. I mean, just being nominated for something like this. There were a lot of kids in my class that could have been, and I'm sure have been in the past. But it's a huge honor. I really appreciate it.
This is a great honor. We did a lot of great things when we were here at East High and won a lot to be able to turn the program around. So it feels good to be able to be acknowledged and recognized for some of the foundation that we laid.
For me, the induction is historical, so my name will be forever printed in the annals of history for being a great football player for East High, so that's a tremendous honor, along with the tradition that has been going on here at East High for several decades. I think this is wonderful, and for the student athletes that come after me, I'm someone that they may even remember.
It means a great deal. Being a two-time All-Stater, being the most valuable senior by the Rotary Club, it means a good deal to be able to continue to stack those establishments and accomplishments up to be able to hopefully be set in stone here at East High.
It makes me feel really proud. He put in the work, and this is the end result.
It means the world. Like I said, I bleed orange and black. I've known about East Waterloo from years past. I know the greatness of East Waterloo. I know what it took to do and to be where those young men were and where they are. And I'm just honored, I'm humble and thankful that they considered me. They thought enough of someone like me to also include me in this brotherhood.
Again, just a great honor. You know, football was part of my life from 7th grade on, and it's helped make me who I am as far as exercise and commitment and teamwork and everything else. So it's a great honor.
Probably the Burlington game. I ran a long touchdown, and my brother was here from California, and it was just a great memory. That was the longest touchdown I ever had. And then they called it back. Like always, like they used to do.
My best football memory would be in one particular game, I had an excellent defensive game in which I was able to hit a tackle guy with not even really wrapping him up, but just more or less a full blast and knocking him at least 10 yards in the air backwards. And then another time having a running interception where I just saw the play just unfold, and I just saw the quarterback's eyes, and I lasered in on his eyes, ran, caught the ball, intercepted it, and ran it back. Those are and it was all in the same day.
Well, today is my dad's birthday. He's probably looking down on me now. And I thank you for everything. I thank for Larry Van Ort for helping me get inducted. He was a great coach.
My best football memory comes from hanging out with my best friend back then, Reggie Roby. We went to preschool together, elementary school, junior high school, and high school. In one game, he punted. I was a gunner on our punt team. He punted the ball, and I downed it at the 3-yard line. It was a 75-yard punt. One of the greatest athletes to ever come out of the state of Iowa, the greatest punter to ever punt at University of Iowa, but also my best friend. Love them dearly. Lloyd and Reggie forever.
Riding Tim Dwight out of bounds hard.
I have several good memories. Probably first and foremost would be the playoff game at the Unidome against West High. Unfortunately, we lost that game, but it was a great memory. You know, several good memories, but that one probably stands out at the top.
I would say the best was to be able to win our first playoff game in 20 years. Went down to Davenport Assumption and made it the playoffs, got out the first round, and like I said, that was the first time in 20 years that we had an official playoff game win.
Welcome to the 2022 East High School Ring of Honor football ceremony. I am Tim Moses, the Director of Athletics here at East High School. I would like to say a thank you to the Ring of Honor Committee for all your hard work in organizing this amazing ceremony, and a special thank you to Charlie Aldrich, Gabe Benson, Randy Lee, Mike Allen, and Mike Sheely for putting this event on. Also, thank you to Hope Nardini and Texas Roadhouse, as well as Hy-Vee Foods for providing tonight's meal and for catering this event. Thank you to the Waterloo Community School District Superintendent Jared Smith. I seen Jared walking around here. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Human Resource Director Anthony Spaghettis. And our District Athletic Director, Dan Huff. I would also like to congratulate the honorees of 2022, the honorees of past years, and the honorees yet to come. As you all know, East High has a strong, rich tradition of football throughout the state of Iowa. Here's a small example of East High School football tradition. There were 6 years of undefeated seasons at East High School, also known as a streak. Six state football titles, numerous conference championships, 7 All-Americans, over 100 All-State football players, numerous NCAA Division football players, 3 NFL football players. With that being said, it is an absolute honor to be a member of this great collection of athletes from Waterloo East High School. At this time, I would like to turn it over to the principal of East High School, Mr. Joe Parker.
Good evening, everyone. And I know Mr. Moses threw out a lot of thank yous, but I also want to add to some of our staff that stayed here to help out, Ms. Van Arsdale and Ms. Grover, who came to help with our dinner this evening. So I try when I get in the microphone not to stay too long, so you're going to have to get through this as quickly as possible. But one of the things that I always want to make sure that I do, because I really love this program for the Ring of Honor, especially looking out for all of our former athletes and football players. And as a former athlete myself, you can't tell by my small stature that I was a lineman as well, all right? So as a former lineman, I did this last year, and this is one thing that I will always take advantage of when you guys give me a microphone in front of a whole bunch of other football players. Because as a lineman, as you guys know, you don't get all the accolades as receivers and a running back. There's a touchdown, and everybody yelling and screaming. Us linemen, we know we did it. We made it happen. So, oh yeah, you're right about that. So, as my brotherhood of other linemen, can all my linemen stand up who are in here tonight? Can we give a hand to all our linemen? And our inductee as a lineman, I believe, Mr. Carpenter. Just want to make sure we acknowledge, because all those touchdowns wouldn't happen without us. But also for this event and all the work that we try to do for this organization, we want to make sure it continues. Could we really give a hand for our athletic director, Mr. Moses, for making sure that this happens? We want to continue to grow this event as much as we can and continue to work with the Ring of Honor, and this will be something that we will 100% be behind, as we have been from the onset and from my inception from being here. So I just want to make sure everyone understands it will be something we will always work with. It is a privilege to be part of this and work with you all and this organization. And in saying that, I would like to bring up at this time our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Charlie Aldridge. Thank you, guys.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome, and I mean welcome to this, our 18th annual Ring of Honor ceremony. I mean, really, what other school remembers, recognizes, and acknowledges the rich history, heritage, and tradition of East High football like we do at East High School? So this is a special thing. We get jacked up, and if I'm jacked up, hang with me. We need to single out several people and groups for their continued support for this special event. First of all, the East High administration, their staff, and starting with Principal Parker. Since he took over, he has supported us, I won't say 100, I'd say 1,000% in making this a success. Mr. Parker, thank you for everything you do. He was up here before, and he kind of gets lost in his shuffle because he's the athletic director, but Ring of Honor member and athletic director Tim Moses for getting everything set up and all the little details you don't see. Thank you, Tim. Our programs that you see, professionally done and typed up by East High Secretary Shannon Jensen. So Shannon's not here, but we want to thank her for that. A huge, and I mean huge, thank you to the East High Golf Alumni Committee that helps us financially each and every year with buying the polos, the plaque, the certificate, the frames that we get. And for those of you who play in the golf outing, know where part of that money goes, so we very much appreciate it. We also want to thank the downtown personnel, our video man, Christian Stowe, for taping our ceremony. This is his first year for doing this. For those that are people just couldn't make it tonight, or people that are out of town or out of state, you'd be surprised on how they view this because it's on YouTube or on the media channel. So thank you there. Katrina Heeman has been with us 17 of the 18 years, sending out the press releases, alerting the media, the public for this special ceremony. And I know Tim brought it out, but Superintendent Jared Smith over there again, Jared, people may not realize this, but 10 years ago, he was here supporting this as assistant principal. Is that correct? All right, for the next 10 years, we're counting on you being here, Superintendent Mr. Smith. Thank you. We'd also like to thank several East High alumni who helped spruce and dress up that East brick walkway out there on Vine Street. Thanks to John Groth, Joe McCraney, Ring of Honor members Kurt Wilkes, Randy Lee, and Gabe Benson. You know, I don't know if you had a chance as you come up on Vine Street, but this brick paver project is sponsored by the East High Football Ring of Honor. But any East graduate, any East organization can purchase a brick and leave a lasting legacy of your time at East High School out there. The money that we receive goes into a general fund and to be used at the discretion of the East High administration. They can use it for band, chorus, cheerleading, clubs, yearbook, whatever. And Randy Lee will have some information on the back table over there. You can kind of see what we've done before, okay? We'd also like to wish head coach Carlos Anderson, his staff, and the 2022 players the best of luck tomorrow in their game at North Des Moines. You know, he came in and took over the program like at the 1st of June, I believe it was. Didn't have any off-season program, no 7-on-7, no team camps, and he's really doing a remarkable job keeping it together, so we want to let him know that we got his back 100%. Okay, at this time, I'd like to read our Ring of Honor mission statement, which has not really changed or been altered in the last 18 years. It still holds true today. And it goes as this: the Ring of Honor has been established to recognize former outstanding East High football players and coaches who excelled during their playing career at East High School. This select group of former Trojans will have made major contributions to the success of East High School and brought positive recognition to the program from their outstanding achievements on the gridiron for the orange and black. The inductees have been selected by present and past Ring of Honor members. The common denominator for all Ring of Honor is knowing that regardless of the year they played or the achievements of the team they played on, they share an equal status. Once identified, all Ring of Honor inductees attain a lifetime membership. Each member never graduates, never goes on the injured reserve list, is always eligible, never moves out of the district, and never transfers. This is one of the highest honors a football player at East High School can attain. Established in 2005, 122 members have been inducted so far, and tonight, with its 7 new members, we are proud to announce a grand total of 129 members and counting. As we honor tonight's inductees, we do not want to forget our members who are no longer with us. Can we take a moment of silence for our Ring of Honor members no longer with us here today? Willie Allen, Carl Anderson, Craig Atkins, Fred Becker, Carlisle Bixby, Frank Bloomquist, Coach Lou Breitbach, Don Buck, Don Buzzard, Virgil Carr, Leon Fike, William Big Son Flowers, Tony Green, Tracy Greer, Coach Don Hanson, Mike Hewitt, John Hollingsworth, Manny Holmes, Emmett Hoosman, Brian Jones, Coach Larry Jones, Coach Ron Johnson, Joey McCraney, Pete Middleton Sr., Norm Montgomery, Jerry Moses, Coach Leonard Raffensberger, Walter Reed, Reggie Roby, Pete Ross, Eugene Stevens, Coach Roger Stevens, Coach John Tidor, Coach Howard Vernon, and Coach John Wagner. Thank you. Now, let's recognize and acknowledge our Ring of Honor members and coaches in attendance here tonight. Now you guys, when you stand up, make sure you turn to the camera, or else they're just going to get the back of your head. So make sure that you go, and you want to clap individually, that is fine. But let's start out with our phenomenal, outstanding coaches. 2011 inductee, Marv D. Ward. I'd like to stand Marv. 2013 inductee, Roger Kettleson. 2007 inductee, Mike Sheely. 2009 inductee, Larry Van Ort. Let us go to our quarterbacks. 2020 inductee, Gabe Benson. 2013 inductee, Craig Carper. 2007 inductee, John Dunn. Let us go to our running backs. 2018 inductee, Billy Ray Jones. 2011 inductee, Randy Lee. Making a rare appearance, but glad to have 2005 inductee, Neil Moses. 2008 inductee, Tony Stevens. 2011 inductee, Bill Tate Sr. Our offensive ends, 2017 inductee Sammy Minton, 2012 inductee Mike Watkins. Sliding over on the defensive side of the ball, our defensive backs, 2010 inductee Dave Magnuson, 2011 inductee Tim Moses, 2016 inductee Jeff Smith. And let's go to our linebackers, the boys you don't want to play with, starting with 2021 inductee Danny Banks, 2018 inductee Jamel Rowe, and as Mr. Parker said, the boys up front that make it happen, our linemen on the offensive and defensive side, 2005 inductee Mike Allen, 2015 inductee Steve Elfritz, 2005 inductee Sean Hewitt, 2006 inductee Dwayne Ort, 2007 inductee Larry Tees, 2008 inductee Tom Thorson, 2016 inductee Travis Thorson, 2010 inductee Ron Turner, 2021 inductee coming all the way from Omaha for this tonight, Cole Van Way, 2020 inductee Kurt Wilkes. I believe I got everybody, didn't I? Well, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here today is the greatest collection of high school football players and coaches in the state of Iowa in one place at one time for one event. Can we give it up for the East High Football Ring of Honor members? All right, let's roll with our inductees. Our first inductee is a memorial, and to make that presentation is Gabe Benson. Gabe?
Thank you, Charlie. And again, kudos to the East High staff, administration, the janitorial staff, all of our volunteers for making this another great night. What a great night to be a Trojan. Thank you guys for being here. I look out and just it's a privilege to see all your faces, and so glad that all of you could make it tonight. I have the privilege to introduce our first inductee, and again, it's a in memoriam. Adam Van Syck was an East High graduate in 1994. He was a friend, teammate, and a heck of a football player. And I couldn't be more happy for him and his family. I'm so glad that all of the family could be here tonight to remember him and honor him. And I know he's looking down tonight with a big smile on his face like he always had. I'm not going to talk too much about his football. I'm going to let his father, David, do that. I'm so glad you're here tonight. But I will just say that not only was Adam a heck of a football player, you talked about the lineman, Principal Parker. He was a heck of a lineman for me. He kept grass stains off my jersey, which I always appreciated. Wanted to look good, for those pictures. But he was really an intense, awesome linebacker, as you'll find out. He and I became friends as freshmen when he came from Central, and I came from Logan, as many of us had to do as we came over to East High. But one of the things that you remember isn't always just the games, but some of the practices. And I don't know if it's even allowed anymore, but the circle ups. Adam got to do a lot of circle ups with a lot of people, whether he wanted to or not, which was always a fun time. But I was just talking to a classmate of ours, and we had Miss Nanke, if any of you had her, for foods class. And me and Adam made a pact that we were going to go through every single food class because we like to eat. And we also had a classmate, Nicole Conrad, and now it's Nicole Gunther, who we made a pact with that she'd do all the cooking and we would wash all the dishes. So for 4 years, we went through Foods 1, Foods 2, Foods 3, and Foods 4. We got that master's degree in eating by the time we left East High School. So even though we miss him so much, we all have these great memories of him as a human being, as a friend, and so proud of him to have my back on the field, but even more importantly, that I could call him a friend for my entire life. We did lose him in a tragic boating accident on March 27th, 2020. But you know, God was with us, and we found him, and we could put him to rest in a great and awesome way. But at this point, I am going to turn it over to his father, Mr. David Van Syck. Thank you.
My name is Dave Van Syck. I'm Adam Van Syck's dad. 1993 football season was his senior year. We lost Adam in a boating incident in March of 2020. He leaves behind 2 sisters, a brother, a brother-in-law, a sister-in-law, aunts, uncles, cousins, his mom and dad, in-laws, with a lot of them here tonight. Mandy is here, his wife. McKenna, the oldest, was an honor roll student in high school. Now she's at the University of Iowa. Casey is an honor roll student, and she's a cheerleader at Mason City High School. Derek's a budding athlete. Baseball is his favorite sport. He was on a state championship team in 2001 for his age group. He also likes to play football. And Danica, the youngest, enjoys plays and is a young artist following in Casey's lead. Adam was high energy, always going 100 miles an hour. When Coach Jerry Springer got them lifting weights and playing football at Central Intermediate, Adam was all in. He liked to work out, always in shape, liked to practice and playing the game. When he got to East, their freshman team was really good. They went undefeated, scoring 200 plus points and giving up around 50. Last game of the year, they beat Parkersburg. Jared DeVries, the future first-team All-American, was the running back. Sophomore year, he settled in at linebacker and offensive guard. The varsity went to the playoffs, and then a few sophomores were called up. Travis Whittington, Deion Reed, Adam. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. For the entire 4 years, Shirley Reed, Deion's mom, went with us to the games. She was a good friend, and we miss her. We played against Tim Dwight a few times. He was real good, reminded me of the Moseses and Montgomerys, plus a lot of other great backs to come through East High. One game, Adam had an angle on Dwight and took him out hard. Dwight came up pushing and shoving. They flagged Adam. Coach Jones had him by the face mask and pulled him off the field. I went down to the tunnel, and Jones told me it was just a show. He told Adam not to take any crap off of Dwight. Senior year, East had a good team. The defense was solid. Gabe Benson, the quarterback, good backs, big line. All the breaks didn't go our way, but we never quit and played hard. I'm real proud of Adam. Was one of 4 team captains. He made the All-Metro team, made the All-Valley team. He got a scholarship to Nyack in Mason City. He played linebacker until a knee injury sidelined him. They gave him 3 choices: play through pain, surgery, or sit out and let it heal itself. He played till he couldn't go anymore, met Mandy, and decided to step away from football. Mason City has a rugby team that's been around for years, River City Rugby. They recruited him. Adam told me he missed contact. He played and coached the team for 20 plus years. He was also involved with Mason City Youth Baseball. He was a member of the board of directors and loved to help Coach Derek and all the players on the team. It is hard as a parent to stand here and talk about our departed son. We have leaned hard on our family, friends, and God. Adam was missing for 29 days after the incident. Hundreds of people looked for him, family, friends from Waterloo, Clear Lake, Mason City, uncles from California, aunts from Cedar Falls, people from the rugby team and youth baseball. If anybody here was involved, I want to thank you. I think everyone's goal is to leave this life a better place than it was. I believe Adam did that. He was proud to be an Eastside Trojan. He was a loyal friend. He was quick to praise his teammates rather than take credit for it himself. He learned from his mistakes and gave 100%. He admired the way Brian Payne played linebacker and strived to carry on the tradition of dishing out bone-jarring tackles. He was a big fan of the Hawkeyes and the Bears. He was proud to teach his kids to fish, probably one of the things he most liked to do. And he loved taking care of his family. Adam, rest in peace. Love, Dad and Mom.
Good evening. I too am proud to have so many fine people here tonight. A good crowd to honor these inductees to the East High School Ring of Honor. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing another lineman to our group. As the principal so proudly talked about being a lineman and asked the gentleman to stand up, I too was a lineman, and I was a line coach. And I had the pleasure of working with this inductee. As I went back over some notes from when I was coaching the year that he was a senior, I really couldn't understand how good a football team that was. I was reading a couple of the articles about the games that year. I knew we were good, but by God, I didn't know we were that good. Along with that came when we got beat in overtime in the Nini Dome by, of all people, West Waterloo, it kind of left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, mine included. I really didn't think about the season after we lost that heartbreaker, an overtime game, and I think that was the first overtime varsity game I'd ever been a part of. And I don't think any of our kids left it on the field. I think it was a hell of a football game all the way around. And the inductee that I'm about ready to introduce was a very integral part of that. I have been an ex-center. I know that the offense doesn't start until the center hikes the ball. And this year's inductee was an excellent center. I know one of the inductions was Larry Van Ort was introducing a member, and he was recalling how the center that we were inducting only maybe had one bad play the whole season. And I'm not as good a rememberer as Larry Van Ort, but I wish I could remember all the good plays that Chuck had, because I know there were a lot of them. And it wasn't until I knew I was going to be able to induct him tonight that I really had a chance to go back over some of the things that happened. And I had a couple of tapes from the game that year, and I was watching that, and I was thinking, you know, I really had a heck of a job trying to replace him the next year. We really didn't have a backup at center his senior year. I really don't know what we would have done if he would have gotten hurt. Well, the person that I happened to wind up landing on as the replacement for Chuck was my son. not only did a capable job as a senior himself, but he also wore Chuck's jersey his senior year. And that brought back some really, really great memories. Chuck was a really, really good football player. He was on an excellent football team, as evidenced by, I think Chuck is the 7th member of that football team to be inducted into the Ring of Honor, which is quite an achievement based on the number of very, very, very good football teams. And I think that's the highest number of any of the football teams that have had players inducted into the Ring of Honor. A good year, a good player, and a good, solid citizen. I would like to introduce to you the East High Hall of Fame is proud to welcome into the Ring of Honor 2022 inductee, Chuck Carpenter.
Thank you very much. Not much of a talker, so this will be short and sweet. I want to thank everybody for this honor, of course. Mike was a big part of my football career. I remember back in the day, during two-a-days, I was sick. I was playing sick. Mike called me on the phone, got me to practice. I was complaining. Ended up running the laps with me at the end of the practice. That meant a huge part to me, so I appreciate that. So I want to thank my family and friends for coming. They definitely did not have to, and everybody else for coming tonight as well. Have to throw a little dig into my wife. She was not able to make it tonight because she had previous engagements in Florida, so darn her. But yeah, so thank you very much, and thanks for coming. Here for the honor.
Well, hello again. I'm here to induct our next inductee, Russell Jones, Jr. or the second, or, I'm not sure. Anyway, as his dad, Russell Jones Sr., was a very talented lineman on the 1986 playoff East football team. And what I was told, that when the announcement came out a while back, that Senior got the call for congratulations. And he says, well, I got bad news and good news. The bad news, it's not me, but the good news, it's my son. So we're glad for that. Russell Jr. was a 4-year varsity player, earning all-state recognition his junior and senior season at linebacker for the Trojans. He registered 101 tackles, 65 solo, with 4.5 sacks his senior season, with 3 interceptions. While on offense, catching 10 passes for 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he said his longest touchdown was 68 yards. And I know if your dad would have intercepted it, he couldn't make 68 yards without running out of gas. And, maybe Sheely would have run along with him down the sideline. I don't know. But anyway, he helped lead East to the playoffs in 2012, where the Trojans won their first playoff game since 1979. He was selected the city's 2012 Doc Miller Most Valuable Player in Waterloo. He went to Iowa Western Community College, helping his team record a 10-win, 2-loss record and the Graphic Edge Bowl Championship in 2015. During his time there, he was named First Team All-Conference. He continued his collegiate football career at Grandview College in Des Moines, playing for the legendary Mike Woodley. His 2-year record there was 17-6, and they qualified for the NAIA playoffs both years he played at Grandview. So, You want to talk about a winner. East High led them to the playoffs. Junior college, bowl championship. 2 years at Grandview, NAIA. Folks, that's a winner. And I tell you what, I don't know if you play slow pitch softball, but I got a senior softball team. We could use you, man. So anyway, Russell now lives in Norwalk, Iowa, after graduating with a degree in business administration with concentration in human resources. He is employed as an account executive for Express Logistics here with his wife and son, and expecting another one in Christmas. The Eastside Football Hall of Fame is proud to welcome into the Ring of Honor 2012 inductee, Russell Jones.
Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Aldridge. Really want to thank God to be able to be here in front of you all today, to give me the abilities and the wherewithal to be able to continue to fight throughout life and career. It would have been 10 years since we last played here, and I appreciate really restoring that pride here at East. Friday nights, I never thought we would lose, so was really able to go out there, restore that pride, beat West High, get our first playoff win, and continue to just fight in life. So it's a pleasure to be in front of you all. I really appreciate the ring to be able to recognize us. We need to get a couple more guys in my class to be able here to be with you all, because football is a group effort. It's not one guy, it's not two guys. You need everybody striking at all cylinders to be able to make it happen, and that's something that we did. And again, I want to thank you all for having me. Great company to be a part of, and thank you.
Thank you. I'm here to induct Marcus Magnum. Marcus, like most of us, was a multi-sport athlete. He was a 3-year letter winner for track, a 4-year letter winner for wrestling, and a 2-year letter winner for football. Marcus was a state champion in wrestling, and it didn't just start off that way. As a sophomore, he qualified for state, did not place, but as a junior, Marcus won 33 matches, had a match streak of 20 straight wins, 8 by technical fall, 12 by pins. He recorded one of the state's fastest pins in history with 9 seconds. Throughout the wrestling season, he won several tournament titles and finished 5th place at state at 145 pounds. That summer in the inaugural Iowa Games, he was the 152-pound champion. As a senior, Marcus won 30 matches. He was 30-1. He had a match streak of 28 wins, 8 by technical fall and 10 by pins. Again, won several tournament titles and finished with a 1st place finish at 155 pounds. For football, he lettered in both junior and senior year. He started a little bit as fullback his junior year and played a little bit of linebacker. He started full-time as fullback and middle linebacker our senior year. Both those teams ended up in the state playoffs. Marcus, as a senior year, led the state of Iowa with 217 tackles. He was honorable mention All-State, was first team Big 8 linebacker, and first team All-Metro linebacker. At the end of the year, as the good old Male Athlete of the Year awards come out, I didn't get it, Marcus did. Marcus was Athlete of the Year for KBBG, KWWL, the Waterloo Courier, East Waterloo, and the National Army Reserve Midwest region. After East High, he also won multiple times as KWWL's Athlete of the Week and the Waterloo Courier's Athlete to Watch. And evidently, he holds the East High School dips record of 72. I didn't know we kept that, but After East High, Marcus went on to wrestle at the University of Iowa, where he lettered and was a member of multiple Big Ten championship teams and national championship teams. He got his bachelor's degree in the English language at Iowa, and then got his master's in education there. After that, he went on to National Louis University and got his special ed master's. Finally, he went to Concordia University in Chicago and got his master's in educational leadership. Marcus is currently the director of special education with the Chicago Public Schools. Marcus Magnum is a Waterloo legend. He was extremely popular student athlete. He graduated in the top 20% of his class. He was a coach's dream. Marcus worked hard on and off the field. He was an inspiration to all his teammates as well as people in the community. But he was a nightmare to his opponents. The East High Hall of Fame is proud to welcome into the Ring of Honor 2022 inductee, Marcus Magnum.
Thank you very much. Never expected this. It's a great honor. Sean Hewitt being a teammate, so he saw all of this happening. I'm pretty sure he was happy for me as well. I gotta say, growing up in Waterloo, I never saw things as an individual. So that's why this seemed to me to be a great honor to get this. I'm looking at already honor members inducted already, and I'm seeing a lot of people who strengthened me, to encourage me, basically mold me into who I am and who I've become. The other people that are very influential, of course, is my mother, Mary Ann Porter. She left us in 1990, but she was the biggest catalyst in my life for making me want to do more and do better. Her mantra for me was just do it to it. Didn't know what that meant at the time when you're younger, but as you get older, things become pronouns. So I understood as it went on, and just seeing her smile when I've done something positive really motivated me, kept me on the right track. Members here I see now. Before I used to say, that's Lance's dad. No, but that's the Ring of Honor, John Gunn. I didn't know that. So, of course, Coach Kittleson, Coach Shealy, Coach Aldridge, Coach DeWard. Foregone were Coach Johnson, Coach Jones, and Coach Jones. So a lot of people in my life had a big impact and a big influence. Some members I've seen also in wrestling for Tony Stevens. Didn't know he was as big as he was and as great as he was, but seeing people in the community and talking to you and encouraging you was big. So during my years, my mantra became iron sharpens iron. I adopted that one, so it was major for me to be able to do well, because if I'm around great people, I should be able to do great things. And I took that to heart. So in my high school career and into college, I kept it going just the same. I do not, again, see this as individuals, because I've always had a coach. I've always had good coaches. High school, even middle school, Coach DeWard, and Coach Harris when at Logan. So just having good people around me helped mold me, helped make me what I am. It's not an individual thing I see it as. I see it as a group effort, a community, so it does take a village to make it. And I'm blessed to have made it this far, and I thank God that He's given me the tools, the people, and the things necessary internally to make it happen. Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Well, good evening. It's really going nicely, isn't it? Good crowd, glad you're all here. My name is Larry Van Ort, and together, Rudy Martin and I arrived at East High School in the fall of 1965. He was a sophomore in my 10th grade English class, which means I was an English teacher. I was also the new line coach for the varsity football team, replacing a wonderful man, and most of you should remember him, Don Hanson, who is also a Ring of Honor member. To some, 1965 might seem like a long time ago. To Rudy and me, it seemed like yesterday. Because of my class and coaching positions, I was able to work with Rudy two ways. My favorite story about Rudy in English class was the time I gave the class a writing assignment. I gave them several topics, and one of them was, if I could be an animal, I would be blank. And the students were to then put in the blank what animal they would be and talk about the reasons why they wanted to be that animal. Well, no surprise if you know Rudy, he chose the deer. He wanted to be a deer. And so, excuse me, if you've ever had the opportunity to watch Rudy run, you would immediately understand his selection. As runners, both were sleek, fluid, and fast. In his essay, he went on at length to proudly point out how he and the deer were brothers in speed. That's a joke. Laugh. Hell, I feel like Nancy Pelosi. So, anyway, but that was the truth, and as most of you know, the truth will set you free, and Rudy ran freely. The other way we worked together was in football. In preseason practice in 1965, after the varsity had finished, I oftentimes walked over to the sophomore practice field, and just to see if I could help out. Well, one day I was watching them run the sweep play. Now, just as it sounds, the sweep play is where the back gets the ball, and he just kind of following his lineman, he sweeps around the corner and heads to the end zone, okay? Well, oh, and by the way, smart running backs, they love their linemen more than anybody, absolutely more than anybody, except for their mothers, okay? And if you can believe it, the sophomores were not running the play correctly. So the head sophomore coach nearly begged me to come over and help, so I always had a thing about trying to make people great, so I helped. So here came Rudy running like a deer, around the corner on the sweep, out of bounds. Turning to, I went to Rudy, I said, now Rudy, you're not supposed to run out of bounds, you're supposed to run to the end zone, that's where you score points, that's where the touchdowns are. So to help out, I took all the running backs off to the side, and I showed them that the best route for success was once you feel the ball, you run an S pattern. You get the ball, you take a step, you kind of dip toward the line, you go back a couple steps, kind of loop around, follow those linemen that you love, and then turn upfield and get to the end zone. Well, Rudy found his groove. And as a junior, he lettered on the 1966 team, which went 9-0. The first of many 9-0 teams that we were able to have. As a senior, he was a starting tailback running the sweep just like it was drawn up on the locker room chalkboard. So how fast was Rudy? Well, I forgot to mention that he was also a top sprinter on the track team. I have seen a lot of running backs with speed. I've never seen anyone faster than Rudy. For example, when it came to running the sweep, Rudy had what I like to call get speed, which means just as you think he needs a little bit more, he can get it. Okay? That's get speed, Dwayne. Did that go over your head, Dwayne? Okay. Dwayne was one of my linemen, and you kind of have to work with him. So I don't have my clipboard to hit him over the head with, so. So then what came to be Rudy's senior year, 1967, and he was a starting tailback. And excuse me, forgot my page here. All right, here we go. So then came Rudy's senior year as a starting quarterback in 1967. In the opening game, he ran with flair and grace. He was something to behold. He had the groove. Unfortunately, right near the end of the fourth quarter, he took a severe hit to his ankle. And the pain, the disappointment on his face as he limped off the field, I can still picture in my mind. He was wounded. So what did he do? Well, he battled his way back as best he could. He never missed practice, never missed a meeting. Because of his guts, because of his character, he earned his way back so he could play in spots, but he could never regain full strength in his ankle. Folks, let me tell you what I think you're thinking. It was a damned shame. Nonetheless, Rudy Martin played in 18 varsity football games and won them all. How many among us can say that we did that? Even more, Rudy's record of success is the epitome of merit. He earned tonight. So, I must tell you that clearly it has been my pleasure to tell you the Rudy Martin story. As I was saying in the beginning, Rudy and I are inextricably linked. That guy right there. We go back. Right, kid? So, if I don't do this right, Charlie will get mad. So with that, the East High Football Hall of Fame is proud to welcome to its Ring of Honor 2022 inductee, Rudy Martin.
I greatly appreciate this honor. I did get wounded in that last year, but I fought my way back. Could have been a little bit better, but the heck, we still won. We're still undefeated. And go orange and black. Yeah, it's been a long time. Maybe I should have been in there a long time ago, I don't know. But I appreciate Larry Van Ort, Mike Allen, and all the rest of you guys. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'd just like to iterate what's been already said. I'd like to acknowledge all the people that put this together, superintendent, principal, athletic director, and each and every one that had a part in this. And of course, it's great to be here as always with all you great players, legends, and to be a part of it. It's a special time. You know, I'd like to say to the Van Sykes, I'm so sorry for your loss. You know, but there's a term that we use around Trojans for life, Trojans for eternity, you know, so I like to just say that, and like I say, to your family, I know it's hard on you, but like I say, we are Trojans, and we do stand together, and I just would like to acknowledge that. Just a few things on Dicky Smith. He's not here. I grew up, there was an area of Waterloo, Glenwood, Mohawk, and Linden. We call it the Mohawk Street game, you know, because everybody over there plays sports. And we, of course, like everyone else, came up through the ranks, and we looked up to the same players and stuff before we got to East High. You know, one of those players was Dicky Smith. You know, he stood out. He was a quarterback at East High. We were younger, and of course we looked up to him. He spent time with us. He would come out being you know, basically a celebrity to us, and he would spend time with us. You know, he played quarterback, and he would always throw us passes. And he had this thing. When Dicky was high school, we were younger, but he wouldn't toss you the ball. He would throw you the ball, and you had to catch it. If you did not catch it, he came over, he held you down, he beat you in the chest. You know, so it was one or the other. So of course we learned how to catch the ball, and if we couldn't catch the ball, well, even though we was younger, we just take off running. He couldn't catch us all. But I was told he's going to be. I'm sorry he's not here, you know. But he had a profound effect on me coming up as someone I looked up to, someone that spent time with us when he didn't have to, someone that really gave us a path as youngsters without fathers. You know, it was hard enough on our mothers, but he actually spent time with us, He set us on a path of righteousness, and he made us stay on it. You know, he checked on us, he talked to us, he threatened us, he beat us in the chest, but it was great, and I wish he was here to just tell him, be able to tell him the profound effect he had on me coming up, being an East High basically star, but still spending time with us and setting us on the path. And I just wish he was here so I could tell him that personally. Since he's not, I'll tell you, since he is going into the Ring of Honor, he is one of us now. And he's definitely the mantra of Trojan for life. And that's what us, and that's what we stand for. And thank you so much.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. He said it all, but me and Sammy, we live right around the corner from each other on Glenwood. Dicky would come and get both of us and say, look, we're gonna catch passes today. Well, I played fullback. I couldn't catch, and I got big hands. And so he would rifle the ball, and he'd throw it to Sammy. Sammy, he'd just catch it, every one of them. Now, my house was right there. And he always would say, if you don't catch it, I'm going to hit you in your chest. So I knew I wasn't going to catch it, so I just sit there. He would throw it and hit me in the chest, and I'd turn and run for the house. And he would never catch me. But see, he would always come up to Highland. We go up to Highland and play football and basketball, and he'll come up. He said, you think I forgot about you, didn't you? I said, no. And he would catch us and hit us, and it was all good. But he's the reason we became who we are today, because he was there just like a big brother.
He really was.
And I appreciate him for that. I just wish he was here, and I thank everybody here for coming, and that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I'm tall enough for this. Hi, I'm Randy Lee. I'm here to induct Lloyd Timms. We first met on the football field when we was in junior high. He played at Logan, and I was at Bunger. Of course, you know, we didn't like each other then. But as soon as we got to East High as sophomores, oh my gosh, talk about a close-knit family, football. I mean, we did everything together, on the field and off the field. So, you know, just a great guy. Lloyd played both ways. He was split in and free safety. He was second team all-conference defensive back. He was also on the 1979 state championship track team. And he's also in the track Ring of Honor, or whatever they have, their Hall of Fame. So, you know, he's a hell of an athlete and a great friend. Lloyd married his wife Kim in August of 1995 to celebrate their 27th anniversary. Lloyd and Kim has two sons, Christopher and Charles. Charles is a teacher and wrestling coach here at East High. Christopher, he's a manager at Mudd Advertising and sells Amway on the side. He's a deacon at his church. He's been that since 2004. He helped run a basketball program over at Gates Park back in the day. Also played flag football, as a lot of us did back in the day over by the Riverfront Stadium. And that was almost as tough as with pads on. He works at John Deere's, been there since June of 2008, and the maintenance guy. And like I said, short and sweet, he's a hell of an athlete, hell of a guy, hell of a family guy. So East High Football Hall of Fame is proud to welcome to the Ring of Honor 2022 inductee, Lloyd Timms.
First and foremost, I'd like to give honor to Christ, who is the head of my life. I want to thank Charlie and the rest of the guys that saw enough in me to want to include me in this brotherhood. I call success not what I did on the field, but what I did off the field. I call success with what my family does and the accomplishments we've had. There's one constant thing tonight that we need more of. It's men, and we're honoring men. Right now, men are so far out of their lane. That's why the world is in such turmoil. We as men need to be leaders in our household, in our community, in our state, and in our world. If we did, God would be more pleased and the world would be a better place. Second, my young men, what I did not for accolades. I did nothing for show. I did nothing for fame. I did it because I love the sport. I did it because I love the camaraderie. I love the fellowship. Like Randy said, we started out as enemies, and now we're brothers. I wouldn't trade anything for my time at East Waterloo. You cut my left arm, I bleed orange. You cut my right arm, I bleed black. It's East High for the rest of my life. My son Christopher is the head wrestling coach at East Waterloo. My son Charles was super successful in wrestling at East Waterloo. My father-in-law, Bill Tate, All-State at East Waterloo. My friend Ron Turner, my friend Sammy Minton, my friend Billy Jones, my friend Tony Stevens, my friend Jeff Smith. More than friends, those are brothers. Cut any of us. John Dunn, we bleed black and orange. Roger Kettleson, I'm not gonna call you Roger, your coach. Always respect and dignity. Coach DeWard, Coach Shealy, my brother-in-law, Mike Allen. What can I say? You made me who I am. I didn't try to be the second best somebody else. I'm the best Lloyd Timms you're gonna get. God made me, you can't change me, you don't like it, I don't care. I love you anyway. All I have to say is thank you. I'm humbled, I'm thankful, I'm honored to be in this brotherhood. Brotherhood, remember, it's brotherhood. Women, you are doing everything God intended for you to do and more because you're doing half of our job also. Men, get off your do-nothing stools. Let's get up. Let's represent. If we're East High, let's be East High. Let the state of Iowa know that all those years that we were so successful and all the things we did, that it does still matter. Because we had all those victories, then we had a turn of losses, doesn't diminish anything. We're still East High, we're still proud, we're still God-fearing men, I hope. If you don't have that intimate and personal relationship with Christ, I suggest you get it because nothing's promised. We can be here today, walk out that door and fall dead. I want to see you guys on the other side. I want to see the East High team on the other side, and then let's claim the victory East High. I believe East High. Thank you.
Hey, don't be taking off, John Dunn. What are you doing there? As previously mentioned, that he just finished up practice, I do want to give a shout out to our new head football coach, Coach Carlos Anderson. Over here, would you like to stand up to Carlos? His football staff, Coach Mohammed and Coach Taylor in the back. All right. In conclusion, we have a few housekeeping items to wrap up. 2022 inductees and all Ring of Honor members, you stay here for a group picture which we'll take and get submitted to the celebrations section of the Sunday Courier. CeeLo, Carlos, Frazier, great job of doing that. We would ask the rest of you if you could just kind of stay back until we get the picture taken, and then if you want to come up to cut the chaos, because in the past, it's taken 15 minutes to get this picture taken. Anyone interested in information in purchasing one of the bricks for the brick walkway out there, see Randy Lee afterwards. Again, that money goes towards anything that East High needs, and we go from there. Don't forget our annual post-game celebration gathering at the American Legion Post, and everyone is welcome to come on over there. You're invited to continue this. The directions, you just go over 5th Street, turn left on Commercial, it's on the corner, American Legion. Now, let's finish the night off with the best note available with our East High School fight song. The words are in your program, so if you maybe forgot it, the words are in your program, and it's time to bring up East High Bruce Springsteen and his rockabilly friend Gabe Benson to end this night on the best note possible. Gabe, come on this side. And folks, real quick, especially you, Billy, don't worry if you sing off key, because you will fit right in. Okay, let's stand up and let's get that school song. Ready? Da 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 da.
Cheer, cheer for East Waterloo. Wake up the echoes cheering for you. Send the valley cheer on high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. What though the odds be great or small, East Waterloo will win overall, while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. E-A-S-T-H-I-G-H.
We are Trojans.
I am East High.
I am orange and black.
I am a Trojan.
I am East High.
I am a Trojan and will always be a Trojan.
I am East High.
On behalf of Adam Van Syck and Gabe Benson, I am a Trojan.
I am Larry Van Ort, and we are orange and black.
Randy Lee for Lloyd Timms. We are East High.
I am East High.
For Russell Jones and Charlie Aldrich, we are East High.
For Sean Hewitt and Marcus Magnum, we are orange and black.
We are East High.